Ladies and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, amazing, original, Johnny Blaze. Often imitated, but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the original Johnny Blaze Show. It's great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time, ladies and gentlemen. All the great spiritual leaders are gone. Moses is dead, Muhammad is dead, Buddha is dead, but I'm not feeling so hot myself. I remember my first girlfriend. She was a cashier at Wendy's Hamburgers. The woman I'm dating now is a manager of Arby's. Yes, folks, after all these years, I worked my way up from where's the beef to we have the meats. I have gazed into the abyss, and the abyss has gazed into me. And neither one of us like what we saw. But who knows what lies behind the beyond? Most of us can't even see beyond our behinds. Ladies and gentlemen, I am what is known as a unique figure. There's just no middle ground with me. People are either confused by what I do or they just don't get it. But once I'm seen, I'm never forgotten. So Pfizer announced they have a COVID-19 vaccine. Pfizer's the same company that gave us Viagra. First they bring the dead to life, and now they want to keep us alive. Instead of going through another impeachment trial, why don't they just test the vaccine on Trump? If he lives, then the vaccine is safe. If he dies, then all the rest of us are safe. I did a one more vaccine joke to tell you folks. But the only ones who get it so far are seniors over the age of 75. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a blazing hot, very exciting show with a special guest. He's a multi-talented actor, voiceover artist, and also a stand-up comedian. Please give a big warm welcome to Erik Passoja.
Hello, boys.
Erik.
Hey there. One second. Let me make sure I'm all up. There we go. How's it
Are
going?
you on? Yeah. How you doing, Erik?
Glorious. How are you?
Real good, thanks. Looking great.
Feeling great. Don't mind me. I'll just.
All right, Erik. You're multi-talented. You have many all kinds of different. Tell me about your entertainment background now. How did you get before you got started in entertainment? Where are you from, and how did you get started? And tell me all about describe your background, everything that you've done before.
My background. Right now I'm in the park. That's my background.
You're in a park. Huh? Oh.
That's okay. On my backgrounds, let's see. I was born in Manchester, England.
Okay.
You ever been to England, Johnny?
I've never been to England. I have a friend of mine who I told him I was going to have you on the show. He's also from Manchester, England. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, he'll tell you as well.
Yeah.
A little travel tip for you. You ever go to a restaurant in Manchester? Don't order the food. Don't order that.
Don't order what?
Terrible. You ever have a scone?
I've heard. Yeah, I've had a scone before. Yeah.
It's like a meteorite with raisins, isn't it?
Right.
Like, how does something come out of the oven stale? That's what I want to know.
Terrible.
I wonder why the English have bad teeth. You know, what happens to your incisors? Breakfast. So I was born in England, and then I moved to New York when I was about 2 years old. Ended up growing up in New York City, of all places, and lived there forever. Upper East Side, yuppie ghetto, LL Cool Bean, yo. And then I went away to prep school and then to high school in New England. Then I went back to New York City, and then I came to Los Angeles. So it's been an itinerant life of hard study and art.
What did you take up in okay, you were in New York. Did you go to Yale University too?
I did. Wait a second. Have you been doing your research? Yes, I have. I did go to Yale. Right. I studied theater and psychology. I did a psychoanalytic profile of Richard III, and then I played the role.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say I would be a psychiatrist. I just don't care enough about people, I guess.
Oh, I see. You like to psych people in and out, right? Back and forth.
Maybe a little bit. I just sit there for 45 minutes and be like, you think you have problems? You know, I'm too much of an actor, too much of an artist.
I see. Well, you love, obviously you love acting, and what are some of your favorite roles in acting? Let's apparently you did some Hawaii Five O, NISI. What did you did Hawaii? Yeah,
I did
quite a
Hawaii.
few roles. You played
Uh,
Charles Manson. Yeah.
I did play Charles Manson. Haha, that's right. I did. Can you believe that? I've been thinking we should, everybody who's ever played Charlie Manson, we should all meet at a bar somewhere.
Well, that's
Steve Rails back and a whole bunch of other people. We should all sit down and have a beer and talk about Charlie. That was intense. I played more serial killers than there have been serial killers, Johnny. I don't know what it is.
really.
Yeah, the audience, the industry seems to hire me that way. But the key word in typecasting is casting. So I'll take it. I will definitely.
Do you prefer playing the bad guy, or does it matter to you what you play exactly?
Bad guys can be fun, but so can good guys. You know, it's
Right.
it's really a mirror to oneself when one works. And if you really pour yourself into it, yeah, you can make anything work. I certainly love playing bad guys, but I love playing good guys. I don't know what to say. Yeah, both. Wouldn't you?
So, what is your favorite bad guy and good guy role? Any particular favorites that you have, or
Bad guy. Yes, actually, I would say definitely Richard III is my favorite role of all time. William Shakespeare's.
what is there about Richard III that you really loved?
The complexities, not only of the character itself, because you have to remember back then in the Elizabethan times, if you were born deformed, it's assumed that you were evil inside and out. Shakespeare wrote him compassionately and said, well, there's a reason he was the way he was. So you have all this vulnerability poured into it as well. And there are a number of points within the play where he really faces himself. And also, it's delicious. It's like eating a peach.
You make it sound like it's a lot of fun. You make it sound like it's a lot of fun.
It's an iambic peach. That's what it is.
Right.
And what was the other question?
That's what you prefer. Okay, Richard III. What about, that was the bad guy that you love. What about your favorite good guy? Anything, the good guy role that you liked?
Well, you know, I found myself playing Jean Nussbaum, who was a Seventh-day Adventist who fought very, very hard to be able to keep the Sabbath. I always find people of faith to be very, very interesting because, you know, a story is only as good as the hero is willing to sacrifice. And I really do like heroes where there's a struggle, you know? So, and also heroes with a dark side. Those are always a good time. For example, Nick in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. That's a great character. He's I don't know if there's a good guy or a bad guy. He's definitely a human being with some flaws and issues and a huge curve to his personality. Those are always fun. You know, they say there's no such thing as small roles, but there's only so much you can do with one or two lines. You know, really, how deeply can you delve in? How much can you query? I mean, you can keep querying, but when it comes to the expression of it, it's just brief and over.
So you really put yourself into the role. You put yourself into the role, that's for sure. You become, I guess you become whoever it is that you're portraying.
Yes. You don't really become that person. I think if you were to become that person, they'd have to commit you. You know, if you're playing Hamlet, you don't actually stab the person playing Laertes at the end of the play, right? You know you're on stage.
Right.
But there's that 11th level of consciousness that recognizes, you know, that you're on camera and you're on stage. And then the rest of you is just fully committed to the moment.
Wow.
So
how do you deal with performance anxiety? How do you deal with getting yourself up to actually be a success to be able to land the role?
That's a pretty broad question in relation to performance anxiety. I certainly get it. One of my great mentors, the late Martin Landau, rest his soul, said to me once that available actors who are available to what's present to them, sometimes have a challenge with things like auditions and stage performance because No matter how you're into the play, you're just available to what's going on. So some of us get nervous. I think for me, letting go of the results is the best way to handle that. In other words, if I don't expect anything from the moment, but the moment itself, that's my thing.
So you feel there's less pressure if you don't have expectations than if you put great expectations on what you're doing.
Right. I mean, expectations, are they not the mother of disappointment?
Of course.
Who said that? Was that Buddha? I think so. I don't remember.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it's better to be surprised than disappointed.
I guess so. That would be some Voltairean optimism right there.
Well, yeah, you gotta see yourself doing it, or else you're not going to do it, of course. But I guess you probably got to fall down before you get yourself back up. But not every audition, I guess, will be a success. But
Yeah,
you got to feel
way,
that you can do it.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I just want to say, by the way, I know you have a great audience out there. To all you astronauts aboard the International Space Station, this tang's for you. Whoa! Okay. There's going to be a little weirdness every once in a while. That's how that happens.
Well, that's fantastic. No, you have a great sense of humor. You really do.
Thank you. Thank you. So do you, Johnny.
Well, I try. I'm very trying sometimes. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So yeah, here we are, man. I don't know where here is. Where is Zoom?
Zoom is zooming right in. Zooming in and out.
I mean, I'm not even here. You realize that, right? Right now, you guys are just looking at glass and aluminum. You recognize. Right now, I don't even know how this works, Johnny. Light is bouncing off of me, and it's going into my camera, which is going to cable to servers, to fiber, to a ground station, to a satellite, all the way back to a ground station, a fiber, servers, cable, to your computer processor, to your monitor, which is sending a signal to your eyeball, which is sending another signal to your brain going, Erik owes me money.
Wow.
I mean,
it sounds like
we're basically right now, it's really cool. In Zoom, you think, therefore I am.
You know, it sounds like a modern day version of Twilight Zone.
It really, hey, I died last August. This was pre-recorded, all right? I'm not even here. No, it's a very interesting concept. You know, one day we're going to look back on COVID and say, remember we could teleport our consciousness instantly anywhere in the world? Glad that's over.
Well, we gotta deal with it. We're doing the best we can, wearing the mask, staying 6 feet, and wherever you go out to the grocery store, drugstore, shopping.
Oh,
I don't even do your walking.
I don't even trust them anymore. Seriously. I don't trust the masks. I mean, we had a year and a half, no P95 masks. I go old school these days. I'm like, everybody out of aisle 4. I want toilet paper. Gotta be safe. I don't even go out.
How do you keep yourself entertained then? How do you keep yourself entertained, Erik?
By being on the Johnny Blaze Show, featuring the fabulous Johnny Blaze.
That's right. That's correct. Hopefully you see some of my other shows and liked them.
I do. I enjoy them very much. I especially enjoyed your interview with my colleague Ellen Gerstein, who's just a wonderful human being. And
she's a good friend of yours. Yeah, Ellen Gerstein was quite a character. She's very entertaining, very interesting, very well, very versatile and talented, and very exciting. Yes. And I'm going to have Eileen Gruba. I'm going to have her on my show next month. The first weekend next month.
An amazing human being and a dear, dear friend. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, you're well connected with great networking, and you have a presence about you. That's great. That's phenomenal. Do you have any favorite movies or famous people that you have worked with? Tell me about some of those.
I got to tell you, I have to tell you, the nicest person I ever worked with, Pierce Brosnan.
Really?
I got to tell you, first of all, he's way too good looking. It's ridiculous. You're in the room with him. I'm a heterosexual man. I'm like, second of all, he was so humble and so incredibly nice. Now, obviously, such a towering star and such a talent. But I was truly amazed at just his menshness, his affability, and his humility. that was a real pleasure. I got to work with one of my heroes on that set, Marlee Matlin, who
Oh yeah.
I was actually quite nervous meeting her. Not only did I have a real crush on her when I was little, but she's such a pioneer for people who have hearing challenges. I just think she's tremendous.
That's great. You work with some great people. Pierce Brosnan, oh yeah, 007. Wow.
007, yeah, for a long
Right.
time, and now he had a movie career before and after too.
He's fantastic. And he also, I remember in Mamma Mia, oh, he played quite a role there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a great experience. I've got to work with some tremendous talented people, and I feel very fortunate. In fact, I truly you got very bright. Here we go. Back. Yeah. So let me get a good look at you. Let me get a good look at you guys. Yeah, you're doing all right. Are you on drugs? I don't know.
That's
Actually, I can
cool.
find out if you guys are on drugs. I can just go look at your faces now. Yeah. You guys are pretty out there. No, I've been very, very lucky to work with talented people, and I think in my business, yeah, fame is great and money is great and all that, but the ability to collaborate with folks who are just at a certain level is a true dream, because you show up and everyone's poured their soul into it.
So you love what you're doing. Of course, I'm sure it's a combination of being affluent, making money, and also loving what you're doing. It's a feeling of passion and accomplishment.
Well, yeah, of course. Also a few milestones I recently, I can talk about it now. I got to, my favorite movie of all time happens to be The Empire Strikes Back, just for about
Empire.
30
Oh, really?
seconds.
Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to work with ILM on the new Star Wars VR game as a droid. And I got to tell you, that was quite an experience, man. Just to be part of that universe. It's like my little child was just.
What was there about Star Wars? What was there about, not Star Wars, but Star Wars? What was there about it that you really appealed to you, made you really excited?
Star Wars, pigs in space. Well, I guess when I was 7 years old, am I dating myself? Star Wars came out. The Empire Strikes Back came out when I was about 10 or 11, which is actually about the age of my son right now. And that second movie was all about spirituality and sort of finding out who you are and what your place is. And it left you with that huge cliffhanger for 3 years. I am your father, which blew my mind. And then 3 years later, I remember Return of the Jedi came out. This is a fun story. And I had finals in 8th grade when it came out, so I didn't see it for about 2 or 3 weeks. Finally, I went to see it. I waited online with everybody. And someone just started walking down the street going, Darth Vader and Yoda die. Leia's Luke's sister. Darth Vader and Yoda die. Leia's Luke's sister. That kind of ruined the cliffhanger for me before I got to see the movie.
Yeah, like a spoiler, know about and something in advance.
An instant last.
It's better not to know. That way it's more exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more exciting when you don't know what the plot is.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time, and I'm a real sci-fi buff. So movies like Blade Runner and Brazil and The Matrix are my top 4.
What about Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Raiders of the Lost Ark or Jurassic Park? Any of those that you like?
I did enjoy all of those movies. Are they in my top 10? No, but I think they're all amazing achievements. I mean, for me, it's all about story, really, and stories that either blow my mind or reach my heart. One of my favorite stories of all time is Amadeus. It's one of my top 5 movies, and that
Amadeus. Oh,
Amadeus,
okay.
Story of Mozart and Salieri, based on a Peter Shaffer play, and Milos Forman directed it. It's I think it won an Oscar that year. Basically, about a musical genius who really couldn't grow up.
Wow, that's interesting. There was a movie too. Now I remember Meryl Streep was in it, and her dream was to be an opera singer. And she ended up achieving her dream, but she was terrible at what she did, and people were cracking up. Remember that movie?
In fact, I remember hearing the original story on NPR and thinking that would be a great movie. Florence Foster Jenkins, it's based on her life.
That was it, right?
Someone who just didn't really have any awareness of her talent and enough money that no one was willing to tell her.
So she has succeeded in her mind because she achieved her dream, but there were people who were laughing at her and they were cracking up. Yeah, that was quite a movie. Yeah.
I don't know how many too many people of that era have had movies made about it. So in that way, she outlived her lifespan. That's
true. Oh yeah. So what's a typical day now? And as far as acting, what's a typical day on the job as an actor? And I know you do, besides acting, you do voiceover and you're also stand-up comedian.
Sure.
Which are the, they're all different areas. Which do you prefer, or do you like them equally? Acting, voiceover work, stand-up comedian.
I think I do all three because I love to do all three, and I can.
Okay.
I think stand-up comedy has its own merits because I get to write my own material. I'm not at the whim of someone else's pen. And also, I get to go anywhere and do it. In other words, I can do an hour of comedy anywhere with a microphone. And that's cool. You can't do that with a film or theater. At the same time, I love being on a set. I love being on a stage with a cast. I love doing a run. And also, I love being able to stumble out of my bed and being a character, for using my voice. So really, it all sort of boils down. Your original question is, what does my day look like? You mean like when I'm on set?
On any of these?
The average day.
Yeah, on acting. Yeah, first of all on acting, and then on voiceover, and then on stand-up for stand-up comedian, right?
Well, as an actor, it basically works like this. 95% of our job seems to be auditioning at all levels. Whether you are if you're an A-list star, it's probably a different thing. You get a lot of offers, but you get a script and you've got until Thursday to get it on tape or go and do it. And you just prepare and you treat that like a job. And then when you get the job, you show up on set ready to go, and it's a roller coaster. And you get to really explore a role with some incredibly professional people, and you get to tell a story and pour out your soul into it. As a voiceover artist, it's not much different. I have a whole setup here. My office looks like the inside of the Jawa sandcrawler in Star Wars. Like there's just cords and C-3PO's in the corner going, "Oh, what's all these electronics?" It's great. I have a whole vocal setup here, and I record everything from home. And that's fun. Yesterday, I got to play 2 undead creatures, sort of golem-like creatures. And next week, I'm going to play just a sweet little turtle.
Wow. So do you do your own voiceovers? You have to have a demo, I assume. You do your own demos, I guess, or yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the best way to get work as a voiceover artist?
The best way to get work in this business is to shake a lot of hands. The best way to get seen, everybody, is to do the Johnny Blaze show. And here we are.
Right.
Obviously, it's not only who you know, but it's the quality of the work you put out. The way to get a voiceover agent, a demo can help. And actually knowing how to put together a demo and hiring a person who can really do it professionally can help. It also helps to be around and just keep showing up. That's what I did. I just kept showing up. They couldn't get rid of me. They could not get rid of me.
So persistence overcomes resistance, I guess.
I don't understand the concept of resistance.
No.
I don't even know what that means anymore. When you're right.
So in other words, how do you handle rejection? So you don't let rejection handle you. You handle rejection.
Well, there's no rejection in this business. You just don't get hired.
There isn't.
You see.
I see.
It starts with 1,500 people. They see 30. They call back 7 and they pick 1. At no point do they call you up and say you're rejected. They just pick the person they want.
So you gotta be exactly what they're looking for then. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not in our control, is it?
Right.
I can't be
No, it isn't.
I can't be who you're looking for. I can be me. And if I'm who they're looking for, every time I book a job, I say these 3 words. It's my turn. Okay.
It's like the song, I gotta be me, I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? Yep.
Exactly. That song was brought to you by COVID Flakes. They're contagious. Oh yeah, so it's all also by honey.hydroxychloroquine. Now with Real Pharma. Yeah, the thing is,
You're a character there. That's you are.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm also a nerd, by the way.
That's just natural. Yeah.
I don't know if you know
That's just natural. Right.
I'm a nerd.
No, you're just natural.
And I have ADD. Nerd. ADD.
Wow.
Did they
Well,
call
you
it
play
ADD?
many hats.
Did they call
many
it
roles.
ADD? Say again?
You play many roles. I saw some of your YouTube videos on you were doing one thing that was almost like an auctioneer. Really. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah. That's from my stand-up tape. My father, it's about my dad, actually. My dad is a bipolar quantum physicist. So at any point, I either know where my dad is or his momentum.
About your dad. You did it real fast. Bump, 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 really, real fast.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Can you do that? Can you do that right now? I'd like to hear that.
My dad is, what's interesting, my dad loves science, and you can't really talk to my dad about science because he's like a cross between Russell Crowe and A Beautiful Mind and a car auctioneer. He's like, well, son, you want to learn about the Big Bang? Let's delve in a little of the math. KQQ over R squared, R squared, R squared, R squared on it. Sine, cosine, theta, cosine, 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 bid do I hear a tangent? Blank, constant, blank, blank, blankety, blank, blank, blankety, 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34th. I hear voices. Delta V over delta DD squared TD is going to delta sun just waving at a friend. Riemann sum alpha gave it damn a delta bye, 3.141597. Last call. V 0 T plus 1 F 8 T squared sold to my weeping son who got a C in physics.
That is spectacular. Boy, that's blazing hot there. It really is, Erik.
Only for you, Johnny.
No, I saw that. I wasn't depressed. I was impressed by that. That was fantastic. It really
That
was.
brought to you by COVID Krispies, featuring snap, crackle, and loss of smell. All right.
Yeah, you know your craft. That's for sure, Erik. You really do. And that's not just anyone can do that. It takes a special talent. No.
Yeah.
Or
maybe just
I'm
like
sure you practice.
a lot of free time on my hands, I think. So yeah,
Right.
my dad, I love my dad a lot. He lives with us, actually.
Oh, he does.
I did. Yeah, we bought a house right before COVID, thank heavens, and we moved him into the guest house.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. So
You got a father that you care about. You moved. Now, I understand. I did some research on you. I understand that you also are into karate, and you've got a couple of black belts. Can you describe that? Tell me more about the karate black belts.
my dad got into karate when I was a kid, and then I got into karate, and I trained for 30 years. Traditional Okinawan style and Japanese style. So I was very much into wrestling in school, and then I started getting into karate. And as an adult, was a young adult in college, I took some time off and I lived in Japan. I lived in a karate school there and trained twice a day, 6 days a week, and was the worst person there. So I got a lot better because I survived. And I do impressions of all the senseis, and I will not do an impression of a single sensei because I want to live to see next week.
I see.
And yeah, I've been training a long time. Taking
That's
a little
great.
time off to rehab my hip because I have osteoarthritis in my right hip. Osteo meaning
really?
old, and arthritis meaning as hell.
I see. Well, that's one thing. Someone can have millions of dollars in the bank, but if they don't have their health, it's not going to overcome anything. If you're healthy, you're wealthy. Ideally, hopefully you both. You have money and you have health.
I've just been healthy my whole life, and that's what's weird. It should have been coke and hookers. I'm telling you, it should, because I know 3 people. It was all about coke and hookers. None of them have hip problems. 2 of them are dead, but none of them have hip problems.
Well, it sounds like they're very hippie and they're very hip to what's going on too.
No longer. Yeah, I live healthy. I'm vegan, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you did a monologue on vegan. That's right, on your comedy.
Yeah, I am. I'm vegan.
Yeah, tell me about that vegan comedy that you did.
Well, I've been, I really talk about my life and who I am, and vegans were just,
What exactly? Explain it. What is a vegan exactly? Can you explain what is?
well, yeah, vegans were like vegetarians, but with fewer friends.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, it's no animal products. We don't need. Okay, only veal, but that's where I draw the line. No, we don't need any animal products at all.
Oh, you don't.
So, uh, no, no meat, no fish, no
Oh.
honey, no milk.
Mm.
I'm fine. I have a lot of energy. So I'm fine.
Wow, you're
So 15
you're
years,
really
and
you've been doing that for 10, how many years? 10 years you've been doing
I've been
that?
vegan 15 years now, 15 and a half years.
15 years. What made you go in that direction? Is that something that you decided on your own and somebody else
Well, I did a yoga cleanse, and changed my life. And I sort of had a spiritual awakening at that point,
really?
and realized that maybe if I just stay like this for a while and I feel this good, I'm going to make everyone vegan. And I didn't feel quite as good as when I had my spiritual awakening. After that, where do you go? But
So
I
that woke
realized that once I
that
went
woke you
down
up, it
that
sounds like.
yeah, I believe in my own sanctimonious way that it's a way of saving the planet and showing compassion for everything that lives. But also, it's been shown in a number of studies that it'll elongate your life, not consuming animal products. Reduces the rate of heart attack, stroke, and cancer. But self-righteousness, it makes you a lot more self-righteous. So at the end of
Well,
the day, ever since I started being vegan, I feel a lot better than you.
that's
So
great.
that's all that matters. I don't judge any of you dirty meat eaters at all. I don't.
Well, you love what you're doing. As long as you're happy and you please yourself and you're smiling and you're happy and you're healthy, that's what counts. You don't have to please the world, you please yourself, that's for
I
sure.
guess. I guess it helps to
Well,
have one or two fans. I think it helps to have, I mean, it helps to have companionship and people who get you. But no, I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
let me ask you, who's your inspiration now as far as entertainment? You have anybody that's an inspiration? Anybody in particular, or maybe more than one person inspired you to do what you're doing?
So many people have inspired me. I'm constantly staggered by talent. One of my favorite singers is a gentleman named Bobby McFerrin. I don't know if you know his stuff, especially his early work. He's just a virtuoso of vocality, able to just jump octaves and fuse it into kind of jazz or whatever music he likes. I love people who innovate. People like Robin Williams and Eddie Izzard have really influenced me in comedy. As
Really?
actors, I've had so many. I mean, there's so many. I mean, from Meryl Streep to Philip Seymour Hoffman to. I'd say my biggest influences in person have been teachers like Eric Morris and the late Martin Landau, Susan Peretz, Penny Allen. I find inspiration everywhere, from Mozart to Miro to Miles Davis to Ernest Hemingway. People who are willing to really rip the cover off the ball and talk about the profundity of life. I guess
Interesting.
Shakespeare.
You have many people that you look up to that inspire you. Many of them, not just one. Many.
No, many. Well,
Yeah.
there's more than one kind of talent, you know.
Right. What kind of music now? What kind of music appeals to you? Do you like jazz? Do you like rock and roll? Do you like popular country?
Death
Hip
metal.
hop?
It's a lot of death metal. I can't.
Oh,
My
okay.
favorite song is. I think it's. No, well, boy, I really do have an eclectic taste in music. I certainly love classical. I grew up on classical, Bach and Mozart, Beethoven. But a lot of classic rock, a Led Zepp is probably my favorite band of all time. I cannot believe the talent in that group. And but then again, I love New Age. I love Sanatam Kaur in the yoga world. I listen to a lot of yoga music. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, I find it keeps all the other drivers around me alive. Keeps me calm. Helps me meditate.
Do you like any country or any oldies at all, or country or jazz?
I love jazz. I mean, from Herbie Hancock to Miles but I like old jazz. Not old, but Louis Armstrong. Ella Fitzgerald is one of my favorites. In fact, my wedding song is an Ella Fitzgerald tune. New Age. I'd say there's very little I don't like country. There's not a lot that I don't like country. It's not really. I mean, what could I possibly not like country?
Country. Oh, yeah, some great country songs. Country artists. There's many of them. Oh,
Man,
yeah.
You're gonna have to sell them to me because I'm waiting. I know I just lost half my audience. It's just a reality. I really love music. Like I'd say one of my favorite musicians of all time is Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. Oh.
Yeah, I feel like nobody has been able to pour his soul into an instrument before or since in a way that touches me the way Jimmy's music does.
It sounds like he touches your mind, body, heart, and soul. It sounds like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a song Machine Gun that he did in, was it New Year's 1970 with his group Band of Gypsies. And about 4 minutes into the song, he hits one note and he just holds it for a very long time. And I could just feel everything in my body just go up into my crown chakra. Just the way, and I listened to this guitar solo in Machine Gun over and over and over again. And finally, after years of listening to it, I saw the video and I found that he played the whole thing with his eyes closed.
Wow.
Which blew my
Genius.
mind. It's just the greatest. Yeah.
He's a genius.
And I don't like to use that word lightly. I think we use it, you know, Fifth Coffee is genius. Just, we use that word so lightly, but there are very few geniuses out there, truly original ones, and he's one of them.
Well, there's some great artists, all kinds of people, even people that passed, Frank Sinatra, Elvis, the Beatles. What'd you think of all those? The Beach Boys.
You know, it's funny. I enjoy the Beatles, just like I enjoy Seinfeld, but they're not the ones who tickle me. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Rolling Stones. I'm more of a Rolling Stones guy.
I see.
That's just me. But I mean, I do certainly appreciate the Beatles. I certainly appreciate Blue Eyes and also I understand Elvis and what he offered. I get it. I think he was very talented.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, Elvis was something. You'll never be anybody like him again.
No, I don't think so. I saw him sing with, I think, was it Sinatra? And he was just a kid, and I just loved the expression on Sinatra's face. Oh, when he was hearing the guy coming like this, but he'd never seen anyone like him. You know, he was an original. I mean, he did have his influences, but he was really an original.
No, totally unique and totally different. Michael Jackson, another one. All kinds of, so many different ones. Yeah.
By the way, when you do, go ahead.
Let's say when you do your comedy now, how do you memorize? Okay, do you write your own material? How do you memorize the jokes? And how do you go about writing your own material? Tell me about how do you get involved in that, in writing your own material and being able to memorize the jokes?
I don't understand the memorize question, really. I mean, the thing about memorizing is you just have to do it, right? It's like anything else. It's like doing your homework. By the way, I do not have a great memorizing head. I don't. No. It takes me longer than most to memorize. And I know myself in that if you want me to memorize 12 pages of dialogue, don't expect it tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. I could pound it in my head from now until that moment and it won't go in. The next day, for some reason, I'll know it cold. And 6 months later, I'll still know it.
So what do you think? It's just practice, practice, and practice is what it is in order to,
Yeah, you got to do your homework.
right?
You'd be amazed at how slowly time turns when you're trying to memorize something. For me,
True.
I just do it over and over and over and over again until it becomes
see.
second nature. And then there's the timing, you know?
Have you ever had a time, let me ask you, have you ever had a time on stage where you forgot something or you died on stage, or did you ever have any time like that?
I don't think there's a single comic out there that's been doing it very long that hasn't gone on stage and realized after 1 minute they have no more material for this audience. That happens to everybody. I've been on stage for 5 minutes and realized I have to do 55 more minutes, and it's just going to be hell. I've also gone through a quarter of my material and the hour is over.
So how do you handle that? If that's ever happened to you, describe, the good times and also the times when you totally forgot or you died on stage or had a problem. How did you deal with that?
Well,
Did that happen?
it's like asking a Scottish warrior, what do you do when you're surrounded by the enemy? I don't know. I pull up my sword and I hack my way out. That's what you do. You just go. It's hard to describe. It's
So yeah, I guess you got to compensate for it and try to come up with something to make it look like you're doing okay anyway, regardless, I guess, right?
I think actually honesty is the best policy. If it's not going well, sometimes it helps to just go, well, this is going well. Oops. And everybody laughs, and then you start talking to people, and you start a conversation, and then you seg your way back into your material.
So you make a joke about it and act like it's no big thing and then go right back into it, right?
That's right.
Correct.
Okay. I remember once I was performing at a college, and my now wife went on tour with me. She was my girlfriend at the time, and it was going all weird. And the entire audience was shaped like a horseshoe, and there was a balcony. So there was me on a thrust stage, the audience here, and then the audience here, and a person and his wife got up and walked all the way around to leave. I said, what's the matter? And I had this bit about Jehovah's Witnesses. They said, we love Jesus. And I'm like, okay, I love Jesus too. Bye, good to see you. And we had fun and they left. About 5 minutes later, the guy came back and walked all the way around. I'm like, what are you doing back? He said, I forgot my sweater. So we had about 5 or 10 minutes of banter back and forth. And what started out as an awkward situation became a lot of fun, And I think that's really it. It's about sort of acknowledging the situation and making light of it. You can't be afraid to just grab the bull by the horns.
I see. Wow.
And sometimes it can be a nightmare. I mean, I've had 98 of 100 people get up and leave.
Really? Well, did that really happen? And how did you react to that? Where was that at? Where was that at? And how did you?
It was at a place called Penn State Beaver.
Penn State Beaver.
Just, my microphones didn't work. The audience was impatient. One thing about college students is they don't pay for the gig. They're not paying $15, $20, $100, $150 a ticket. They find out there's comedy night. They show up drunk or high or with their buddies. They have nothing invested in the show except being in the dining hall with a cappuccino machine going off, right? So if you're the comic, you're getting paid. And if things go wrong, it's just mayhem. And 3 mics didn't work. Three mics.
How did the 3 mics? How did you get? How did you get it back to? How did it work?
Go ahead.
How did you turn that around with everything going wrong? It's like Murphy's Law. If anything go wrong, it can't.
No, you don't turn that around. Yeah. I had to do 45 minutes for 2 people in order to get paid. Then I went back to my hotel and called one of my mentors and just cried.
Well, you'll never forget that. That's unforgettable what happened.
Going home and crying. Like, what are you going to do to me now? How bad could it get? If you don't actually, stab me, I'll be fine.
Boy, what a sense of humor. You were a survivor and a great sense of humor for what you went through. Someone else, they couldn't handle it. They'd probably die right there.
Survivor, although I would not survive in nature. That's what's really interesting.
Nope.
I don't know about you, Johnny. Do you camp? Have you ever been camping?
Yeah, it wasn't so great for me.
Yeah, like why would anyone go camping on purpose? Like I have no survival skills at all. I grew up in New York, all right? I might break a nail. It's just like I can survive on a stage, but you know that show Naked and Afraid? Have you ever seen that show? Like they throw two guys naked, a guy and a woman naked in Burma, and it with like a machete and a pot, and they go, you know, good luck for a month. We weren't meant to camp. We were meant to eat sushi and
I
rollerblades.
agree with you.
So,
I
like,
agree with you. I wasn't a camper.
Yeah,
I enjoy cruising. Yeah, I enjoy cruising, but not camping. Yeah. Did you ever go any? Oh, yeah.
I have not done. I've not gone on a cruise.
Okay.
I like to kind of make my own adventures, but in a civilized place.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Like if I'm going
I'm
to
like
go,
you.
to
I
a resort.
can't survive out there very well, but I enjoy. Yeah, you're right.
Or we went to Italy last spring, which was really nice.
You went to really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we just went out there and picked off a bunch of fascists. It was great. We brought our Uzis. No, it was a good time. We went to Rome, Florence, and then Venice.
Interesting. Yeah.
Quite beautiful. I always wanted to go. And by the way, anybody can go on vacation. Do you realize this? If anybody's listening, you just have to put a little money away. I joined this thing called Acorns. It's really cool. They take a little bit, like if it's 38 cents, then 62 cents gets put away. Like they round up to the dollar. So money just keeps going away. And at the end of the year, I can take a vacation. It's awesome.
Wow. You have your own way of saving money, I guess, and planning a vacation.
Yeah, you got to travel. You got to take vacations. Otherwise, your head explodes.
Yeah, that always helps. It always helps clear your head. Makes you feel better. Makes you feel glad to be alive. That's for sure, Eric.
I love to travel to work. That's the thing about actors. We're gypsies.
That's great. So what's your advice as far as people want to become successful, whether it be in acting, voiceover, or even stand-up comedy? What do you think is the best way for them to
well, I have a
go
question.
about it?
What is successful, Johnny? What does success mean? And I think that's the first thing that has to be defined. Look, man, I'm 51 years old, and I'm creative 24 hours a day. That is success to me. You know, do you have to be Matt Damon to be successful? Wow. I know people that have been at that level star who have been miserable. And I'm not saying Matt Damon is, but I know, plenty of stories of people who have crashed and burned or off themselves or not had their health. I don't know how many of those people would call themselves successful. I consider myself as successful, especially when I make a living doing this.
You are very fortunate to do that because you're doing something you love and you make a good living at it. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'd say I can't complain, but I'm Jewish. And that's a cultural birthright. We can always complain.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how well it's going. My back! I don't look Jewish, do I?
I understand. I'm Jewish also, so I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want to be a complainer.
I look like the Nazi poster boy, but I'm Jewish. I am.
There you go. Right.
But I can prove I'm Jewish. You ready? Look carefully. Ready? Did you notice I was Jewish?
Sure. Yeah. Well, you do your best to avoid surus. You don't need any surus, and you want to have a lot of mazel, not mazel, of course. I think you would know those expressions.
Of course I would.
Right.
I'm serious. I'm an MOT. I am definitely a member of the tribe. I know I look like Ralph from The Sound of Music. I am 17, going on 18, but I'm a Jew. I am.
Wow.
I'm a Jew.
Well, you wear many hats. That's for sure. You have all kinds of different roles.
I wear many hats. It's to cover my hairline. It's been going great at the temple, so I've been dyeing it bald.
That's called a cover-up, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
No. Some people have such a poor sense of humor. You can give them a good humor bar, and they say, "I can't stand it. Get rid of it." That's right.
I don't want to.
You can't stand it. You're a stand-up comedian. They say, if you can't stand up, sit down. That's all.
Exactly. And I have to say, really the key to success is to never quit.
I see.
You never quit. You just don't quit. If you love what you're doing, you don't quit. You keep doing it. And
That's
the
That's like the expression, quitters never win and winners never quit. That's what you're saying, right?
And the Japanese have an expression, I think, fall down 7 times, get up 8 times. The concept of rejection is something we created in our heads. It really is. If you're looking for someone for a role, you find the right person for it. And they could be a brilliant actor and not the right person.
I see. Right.
Well, or you could just change their minds, but
you can audition for something, but just because they don't call you back doesn't mean you don't have talent. It just means you just weren't what they were looking for. That's all.
Or it could mean you don't have talent. Let's not leave that out. You could be completely untalented.
That's true. Some people think they're highly talented and they're not. Well,
That's a fact.
meetings are people's heads. What turns one person on may turn someone else off.
Well, that's the thing. I think we are all real quick to judge. I think everybody has something to offer, and I don't think anybody has to quit. We get one of these lives, as far as I know. And
that's true.
And that whole concept of living lives of quiet desperation. Why bother? Why live that life? In order to be safe.
Well, live each day as if you're last, and that way you don't have no regrets. Go for your dreams and take your vacations, have your fun. When it's over, it's final. You don't get a do-over, you don't get an encore. So that's right. It.
Live each day as if it's your last, which might explain my cocaine problem and my debt. That was a joke. Go ahead and feel free to stare.
That's okay. That's all right. You're fantastic. You're great at what you're doing. That's for sure. You love what you're doing, and you have a sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, forget it. I guess you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess you have to have a sense of humor to do comedy.
Right.
And you have to have a sense of humor to stay in comedy, because it's not an easy profession.
What do you think about, now there's quite a few comics like Joan Rivers, there was Phyllis Diller, Johnny Carson was the best, the king of late night. Some of these, the past, Abbott and Costello or Laurel Hardy or the Three Stooges or any of these, Lucille Ball, or, you name it, or Jerry Seinfeld or any of these people.
Yeah, I mean, it's an affliction more than anything, being a comedian. I did the road in colleges for many years until I had kids. And I remember I was at the Improv in Tempe, Arizona one year, and my daughter was about 1 year old. And my wife called me while I was staying at the comedy condo, and she said, "Our daughter almost walked today." And I thought, no, I don't want to be on the road anymore and miss my kids growing up. That's one thing about a lot of my friends. They're on those cruise ships that you were talking about. They're at the clubs, they're at the colleges, and they miss a lot. I'm a family guy. I got 2 kids that I know of, and both of them are great. And I love being with them. My son is.
What's he do? Your son?
Oh, he's an ethnobiologist. He's 11 years old. No, what's he do? He goes to school. My son's 11 and my daughter's 15 going on sociopath. It's going great.
Wow.
My daughter's going through puberty and my wife's going through menopause, and we're in quarantine. So I'm going through ibuprofen like you have no idea. It's interesting.
You're one big happy family is what you are. By the way, you were last weekend. You told me you were at Flappers Comedy Club. Now that wasn't a flop. That was right. That worked out.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love doing Flappers. It's a lot of virtual shows.
Right.
I do virtual comedy right now, and I'm loving it. You've seen a lot of the sort of the graphic stuff I do. I have a computer nerdy background, and it's given me the opportunity to do a lot more with this frame.
That's great. What are your present present projects right now or future projects that you have planned for yourself, Erik?
Yeah, I just let's see. I've had 3 video games just come out.
Really?
As I mentioned, the new Star Wars VR game, the new Call of Duty, the most recent Call of Duty. I also did voices on that. And also there's a brand new Medal of Honor game that's the first fully immersive VR first-person shooter,
Really
which was great. I got to do that one in German, which was great.
interesting. Yeah.
And what else? I just launched a short film that's going to film festivals. And I'm in post-production on a music video. That's been taking some time, called Guru
The
Money.
short film. What's the name of the short film? What is it? What is it called?
It's called Corporate Zoom.
Corporate Zoo?
Yeah, I'm part of a sketch comedy group called Shelter Skelter.
Oh,
And we create films with these requirements. Number one, it has to be shot entirely in quarantine with minimal lights. We can only use cell phones or Zoom, and it must cost $0.
wow.
And so we wrote a
Interesting.
great sketch about a corporate entity that's been in quarantine. It's 2022, and everyone's lost their minds. So
Very,
you know,
very
it's
interesting. Yeah.
place in the Zoom meeting.
Oh,
And what's really nice about that is when you don't have to worry necessarily about, the quality of all the lighting and the picture, it's just story. So it's how do you
so
tell the
you're getting
story?
so you're getting a lot accomplished right now. That's even with the pandemic, you're doing a lot.
I've never been busier in my life.
That's great.
It's
Any
good.
future plans? Do you have any future plans or projects or things that you really want to do? A future dream or project that you have in mind? Or
Wow, just first of all, I'm living it, which is just such a blessing. I mean, there are projects I'd love to do. There are people I'd love to work with. That's for sure. I'd love to work
any
with
particular projects or who you
Yeah, I
like?
mean, I'd
Any
love to-
projects or people?
I love to work with the likes of Meryl Streep or Tom Hardy.
Wow.
I'd really love to work with Giovanni Ribisi. Just people who are constantly challenging themselves as artists, because I think that's what we have to do. Doing this is such a rush that I feel like we always have to raise the bar on the level of our work and the emotional exposure that we achieve in an acting role. And in a way, we're like gypsies. We hop from one thing to the other. But it's the quality of the creative connection that really makes it all worth it for me. I'll give you an example. There's one, just in comedy, there's one comedy club in New York called the Comedy Cellar. Another one called Gotham Comedy Club. And there's some of the best comics in the country there. To spend a night there and do comedy with just these legends like Chappelle and David Tell and back in the day, Louis C.K. and Ray Romano. I mean, you're just sitting there all night long, reveling in the level of the work. Or you're on a set, being on the set of CSI or NCIS, those people are at the top of their game. They're a tightly oiled ship of people who are all focused on the common goal of telling that story. It's awesome. When people show up.
Well, you have a made in the shade, Erik Passoja. You have a very, very exciting and unique and spectacular and blazing amazing hot life as a combination actor, voiceover artist, and stand-up comedian. That's something to be proud of. That's not something everyone can say they can do.
Thank you. Could you tell my wife that, please? That would be really great for her to hear, because I'm the guy who's always working.
Right. Well, I'm sure you make time for her, of course. It's one big happy family, you and your kids and your wife.
We've been married 17 years now. So
That's a long time.
next year, our marriage will vote. Our marriage can join the military and get drafted next year. It's good.
Congratulations, Erik.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, really, that's really something. How can people find out more about you, Erik? If they want to find out more about you.
Yeah, sure. Let's see, what can they do? We don't want to do that. 1 second. We're going to do this. I haven't done this before,
Okay.
so this is a new thing. They can check out miraclelaughs.com. That's a website for my new virtual comedy bit.
It is.
they can actually check out my name, Erik Passoja, on the IMDb as well, to see what projects are coming up.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, you're on YouTube and Facebook. I guess YouTube at least.
Yep. Miracle Laughs. Yep. You just check out Miracle Laughs if they want to get a little bit of comedy. And catch me on the airwaves. They keep running my stuff and never telling me.
Well, it's better, Erik, to run your stuff than to stop your stuff, isn't it?
It sure is, especially during COVID. I mean, a lot of people are not working right now, you know? So
That's true.
I feel grateful that it's been busy.
Well, you do have a lot to be very proud of. You're interesting, you're talented. You just have so many abilities and so many skills, and it goes on and on and on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Can you just come around with me and keep saying that? It's really good for my ego. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean it from my heart, and I really do. And I really, very, very strongly, I really, truly enjoy having you on as a guest, Erik Passoja. Passoja.
There you go.
Passoja.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a Finnish word. Passoja. It means can't pronounce.
Passoja. That's right. Erik. S-E-R-I-K. That's right. Passoja.
Yeah. And by the way, let me just show you my family tree. It's very white.
Well, I'll look at that.
Family tree is, I'm white and my wife is half Portuguese, so our kids are eggshell white.
Well, you've covered it all, Erik. You really have. Very interesting. No, thank you again for being a guest. It's been an honor and privilege to have you on my show, on the Amazing Original Johnny Blaze Show. And very interesting. Probably one of the more interesting shows I've had many interesting, but you're probably right there at the top of one of the most interesting ones I have had. So I thank you again, Erik. Anyway, I want to tell all my fans and friends, till next time, always keep a smile on your face and a song in your heart. Until next time, happy trails and blaze out.
Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who wants to promote themselves on a Zoom talk show, feel free to send us an email at theamazingoriginalJB@gmail.com. The Amazing Original Johnny Blaze has just left the building.